Hey everyone,
Welcome to Podcast for Your Life. I'm Jam,
and I am Jason.
and today we are back. Jason was out of town last week. I was out of town, I think, the week before that.
Yeah,
And we've got a episode coming your way about
hash browns.
hash browns.
Hash brown awesome. You know, like from that TV show. Hash browns, not to be confused with hashtags.
Right, very different.
They're very different. And speaking of different, hash browns in and of themselves are pretty varied. There's many different kinds, as you know. There's potato pieces, you've got fried hash browns, you've got shredded hash browns, you've got roasted hash browns, skillet hash browns, sweet potato hash browns. Dude, there's like so many hash browns.
So how did hash browns come up? Before we get way into it, why are we talking about this?
So lately, my wife and I have been eating a lot of different types of hash browns at our house for breakfast.
Nice.
We have found just different ways of combining them with different various bacons or meats or eggs. And they're just like super convenient and easy to make. And they taste good and they're actually pretty filling. Like they'll last us till lunchtime. And especially if you go with like sweet potatoes. Sweet potatoes are pretty good for you.
Yep.
So it's just like you get kind of the best of both worlds. But that started probably about 2 months ago when we went to somebody's house in Arizona, and they were all into the Whole30 diet, and they just made us a hash with kale and bacon and sweet potatoes and onions and stuff for breakfast, and we were like, dude, we need to make this more often. This is delicious.
Yeah. Man, dude. Okay, cool. So there's different kinds.
Yep.
And you're all about it. You're very into hash browns right now, it would seem.
Yeah, I guess yeah.
Is it like when people say like, "Oh, dude, I'm really into Coldplay right now," and
Yeah.
are you able to go up like, "Man, I'm super into hash browns right now"?
Yeah, I wouldn't say the hash browns are really a trend, but I would definitely say that different types of hash browns trend at different points, you know?
Okay,
So,
interesting.
anywho, and will we consider Sonic Tots hash browns? Like,
See, I don't think so because I think the biggest difference
Tots are different?
Yeah, is
And maybe not just Sonic Tots, sorry, just like
Yeah.
Tots across the board.
tots is across the board. I think the biggest difference is one, when they're called tots, they're meant for lunch or dinner,
Okay.
not for breakfast.
Ew, gross.
Ooh, gross. And the shape, of course, is pretty restrictive. Whereas I feel like hash browns don't restrict the shape. For instance, you've got hash browns from fast food places that
This is true.
are a shape that might be a large sort of whatever you want to call it, like
a patty.
around it, yeah, patty kind of thing. Then you also have just like a loose pile of
Hash browns. Yeah.
So hash brown is sort of more ambiguous. It allows for freedom, and tater tot confines you to one shape only.
Well said, Jam. So let's talk about our favorite types of hash browns.
Okay.
Like, what would you say? Maybe not favorite types, but like if you were to pick like a hash brown or hash browns to go with your breakfast, where would you go, or where would you get them from?
Do you want me to say first?
Yeah,
Okay.
that's why I asked.
All right. Well, I don't know if I would just have a favorite like type of hash brown off the top of my head, just ready to talk about, especially because you're really into them lately, and so you've been thinking about them and stuff. But there's a place in Denton where I live called Loco Cafe.
Sounds crazy.
They have this awesome dish. So they're like a breakfast cafe kind of thing. They have great coffee as well. They have this breakfast kind of thing called the Loco Moco. And it's not... There's actually a wider, more popularly known dish called the Loco Moco. I think it could be like... I saw it a lot in Hawaii, so it's not that. Basically what it is it's mainly hash browns. And then it has eggs, whatever way that you want it. And you can add meat or avocado. You can add salsa or gravy. And all this stuff is made uniquely there, so they kind of do things their own way.
Wow.
But basically what I do is I get the hash browns, eggs. Sometimes I add like sausage or something. And their salsa is really good. And I mix it all up. There's a little bit of cheese on there too. And I call it a breakfast pile.
A breakfast pile.
Or, wait, sorry. Nope. Let's write that. I call it a breakfast mess. Because
Fitting.
it's just this big yeah, just this big mess of deliciousness.
It's like a mess of breakfast.
Yep, and it also comes with a biscuit. So there's all kinds of things surrounding these hash browns that make the experience incredible, and I love it. So, but I've recently thought about changing what I call it from breakfast mess to hot pile. What do you think about it?
Hot pile. Yeah, it sounds good.
Like you walk up to a place and you say, "Can I get the hot pile?" Or do you want to call it the breakfast mess? What's more...
Hot pile sounds more like a in-the-know sort of thing, like the secret menu.
Okay, and breakfast mess sounds like...
It sounds like you're 3 years old.
Really?
Yeah, like...
I don't think...
No, not 3 years old, excuse me. Like 1 years old.
I don't think 1-year-olds can say breakfast.
Yeah, but I'm not saying they would say breakfast. I'm saying that they would... Like, breakfast mess describes, like, a 1-year-old's breakfast every day.
Or every meal.
Every meal, yeah.
Yeah, a mess. Okay.
Exactly.
Fair. Anyway, so that's my favorite, for sure. Like, hands down.
That sounds great. You'll have to take me some time. And we'll
absolutely.
They have like a hot pile together.
They have a lot of tea. You'd love it. They have a lot of tea.
I like tea.
A lot of loose leaf kinds of tea. It's great.
Dude, we should talk about tea in some other episode.
Oh, we should.
Unless somebody, like, suggests it. So.
Yep. Okay, tea. We're not going to talk about tea anymore. Tea to be continued. Moving on back to hash browns. Okay, continue.
Yep. So back to hash browns. I really like McDonald's hash browns.
Really?
Yep. I'm not like, I don't really like a whole lot of things from McDonald's because it's McDonald's. But their hash browns, I feel like, are one of the most, like, dependable items on the McDonald's menu.
Okay.
And one that I'm, like, consistently... I consistently know I'm going to enjoy.
Yes.
Like, I don't have to be like, oh my gosh, I don't know if the hash browns are going to be good today, or, oh, I don't know if, like, you know, I may not know what else is on the menu or what else I'm going to be trying out for breakfast, but if I get a McDonald's hash brown, I know exactly what to expect.
So describe to me the McDonald's hash brown. Like, what are they getting right?
I think the size is great. It's probably not that much, you know, when it comes down to, like, the ounces or whatever that it weighs. But it's the size. It's, like, the perfect thickness. It's the perfect, like, almost hand size, depending on how big your hand is. Wafer? I don't think it's a wafer. It's more of, like, a patty. It's like a fried potato patty.
Oh, it's an oval kind of thing.
Yeah,
right?
it's like an oval kind of thing. And I don't know. I can almost, like, taste it, like... It's just, like, perfect. Maybe it's because, like, their fries are, like, perfectly cooked, that maybe they just, like, mash up their fries and fry them, and they call them their hash browns. I don't know. But maybe the reason why I like McDonald's hash browns also has to do with, like, growing up. Like, I wasn't able to go to McDonald's for anything else, so it was just a breakfast thing. So, you know, my dad would take me, and we'd get, sausage McMuffin and hash browns, and good memories probably has to do with it too. So
that probably affected what in your mind is a hash brown. Like, you probably have a standard, and McDonald's is probably a pretty big part of it.
There's like two, like, when I think of hash browns, or when somebody talks about hash browns, there's two images that come to mind. One is a McDonald's hash brown, and two is like the potato diced things that you get with a lot of breakfast places.
Yeah.
So those are, like, when I think of hash browns, those are, like, what I think of. So
interesting.
So yeah, it's my favorite hash brown. And what's funny is, like, Trader Joe's has some that I was, like, super excited about because you can buy them in the frozen section. And I don't know what it is. They're, like, probably the same thing, but they just, like, they taste different. So, like I said, I think McDonald's just mashed up their fries.
Yep.
I think that's what their hash browns are.
Interesting. I think I maybe have only had hash browns from McDonald's a couple of times, but with that recommendation, I'll certainly have to try it again. I haven't thought about it much, but, like, the word hash brown is kind of interesting. Like, one of the things that, I mean, I've never looked it up or, like, where it came from or something, but if I was to guess, I would think maybe that it started out as, like, hashed browns. Like, someone was like, would you like some hashed browns? And I'd be like, oh, yes, I would love some. But then it slowly just kind of got put together to where it's just hash browns. But at the same time, like, who calls potatoes browns just on their own? Like,
it must have been something, like, a while ago. Maybe an American thing, maybe a British thing, European maybe.
There's a football team called the Browns.
The Browns, yeah. I have no idea what they do, though. So, but
Browns.
maybe it came from that. Hash, I think, like, the idea is, like, it's diced or cut into small pieces. Because, like, I think you can call hash, like, hash is kind of a word for, like, anything that's, like, cut into small pieces and, like, mixed up and stuff. Like, you could say, like, ham hash, where it's, like, ham and potatoes or just ham by itself.
Corned beef hash.
Corned beef hash, yeah, exactly. And I think hash also is like a slang word for cannabis.
I'm pretty sure that's true. Yep.
So I guess those would be like hashed greens.
Hash greens. Yeah. So would you like some hashed greens?
So,
Interesting.
Well, it may not be. Yeah, I think it has to do with cannabis.
Well, how did that start though? Like browns. I mean, I'm just thinking like, what if I started sort of pluralizing a color of each food and like people do call like vegetables that are green greens as a collective category, but it's kind of like there's a lot of things that are brown. I think it's just interesting. I don't know. I there's probably no way to really find it out because it's not like anyone was making records of who referred to what in what way, but I like it. I'm just gonna say I like that it ended up how it is. I like that hash browns sound the way they do. I like that they taste the way they do. The combination, it's great. It's kind of fun to say.
What do you
fun
think?
To eat.
What meat do you like best with hash browns?
Okay, so I like bacon a lot in general, but when it comes to hash browns, something I like about sausage is that because it's ground, it can mix into something really well. Because as I referred to my breakfast mess, I like, or the hot pile, whichever you prefer. I like
hot pile.
I like things to be mixed together really well, so that there's a pretty high chance of getting a little bit of everything in every bite.
Sure.
So that's when sausage is pretty great. It makes for a very efficient mixing
This
situation.
is true. Recently, we defrosted some steak. It was a ribeye.
Yikes.
And I was like, what? Why is that a yikes?
Oh, it just sounds like you're going to use it for breakfast, and I'm like...
I did.
Whoa!
Yeah. Dude, I eat dinner for breakfast. Like, breakfast to me is just another meal in the day. It's not like a specific genre of food. But anyway, we needed to cook it, so we're like, all right, we'll just like have it with breakfast, you know? So we cut some Yukon Gold potatoes, and we made some ribeye, and I cut it up into little pieces and mixed it up. And it was the best hash browns I've made ever. Like, at home. Now, again, like, I've probably had better ones, but this was probably on top of the list because the Yukon Gold potatoes are, like, delicious and they're soft and stuff, and the freaking ribeye was amazing.
Yeah.
And, like, dude, steak and potatoes, like, I know that, like, people talk about that all the time, but this was probably the epitome of a steak and potato meal.
You also went all out. Like, the thing... Like, I believe you that it was great, but the other thing is that it's not sustainable. Like...
No, not at all.
You can't have ribeye and, like, whatever... every breakfast.
It would be so great though. When I could probably eat ribeye and potatoes, like this ribeye hat. I'm gonna call it ribeye. No, I'm gonna call it a ribeye pile.
Oh my gosh,
No, I'm just
ribeye
kidding.
pile.
All right, cut this. I could probably have ribeye potatoes probably 5 times a week, maybe 6. Take off Sundays.
Wow, I think you get sick of it.
I don't think so. It's like pretty hard to get sick of steak, in general.
It's just like anything like that. So steak is obviously incredibly flavorful. So anything that has a strong anything, I feel like it's hard to have a lot of. Like something that's like the reason why potatoes work so well with so many different meals where you could possibly have it every day is because it kind of is not a strong anything. It's not a strong
Sure.
flavor or whatever. And but man, something like that, like having the same meat with every meal is tough.
You haven't tasted the goodness of ribeye hash.
I haven't, but I think that means that you're the one who has to change that. So
Yeah, I guess I'll just have to wait till ribeye goes on sale again. Hash brown broke. Okay,
all right,
I think that pretty much wraps it up.
I don't have anything else. I think
Yeah.
we've talked about literally every possible like sub bullet point of hash browns, and
Yeah.
we probably made up others. So
Yep.
okay, that's all we've got. Thanks so much for listening, and thanks for subscribing. And if you are listening to this on Facebook or something, just search for us on your favorite podcast app, and you'll find us.
Yeah, we appreciate you guys for listening. We hope you enjoy it as much as we enjoy making them. And I know they're probably not the most like engrossing podcasts out there, but I don't know. I feel like we've got enough intellectually stimulating things out there that this is just kind of something for your life, you know?
Yeah, for your life, from ours for yours.
From our life to we're still working on it. All right, guys. See you guys next time.
All right, bye.